Hello everybody, it is Emery48 here, and today's video is another tier list Tuesday. This tier list is something that was recommended in the comments. Warzone weapon tier list. So we've got my favorites, good but boring, quality, bad, and rather have fists out. We're starting with the R90 Shotgun. I never had any real luck with that. It's pretty bad. The 725, as much fun as that was in multiplayer, it's kind of useless in Warzone. The 2 shots don't even down the person, so you're just kind of stuck there reloading. The Origin 12 shotgun, you know what, I'm moving that down. No, Origin 12 wasn't actually that bad. I had a loadout with this, but it wasn't that good. Actually, you know, it's moving up to quality. It made it into a loadout, and I used it a couple times, and it got some kills with it, so it's gonna go there. The VLK Rogue, rather have fists out. Definitely useless weapon. I was never able to get kills with that thing, but that could just be me. The Jack 12, I've never used, so if I haven't used it, it's going in bad. The AN94 is a quality weapon. Happy to pick it up when I see it on the ground, but it doesn't come into my loadouts. The Amex, also a decent weapon to pick up off the ground, but it's never really going to make it into my loadout. Now the first weapon from my loadouts is the Grow. It's kind of past its peak now, but I still use it very often in my loadouts, and it's a fun weapon for me to use. Good middle range assault rifle. The Ram 7 is a quality weapon. I'm never disappointed when I pick it up, but I never really leveled it up enough to warrant it being in my loadouts. The Kilo is another weapon that I still use in my loadouts. I switch between the Ground and the Kilo if I'm going for an AR, so that's definitely falling into favorites. The Odin, I'd rather have my fists out. It's such a useless weapon. It's got like 20 bullets or something, and it just doesn't do enough damage to warrant being used. M13 is quality. Used to be fairly common ground loot, and I was never disappointed to have that weapon. M13, it was pretty reliable, just never made it into my loadouts. The M4, also quality. A lot of my friends used the M4 in their loadouts, and I would occasionally pick up theirs, but it never made its way into my loadouts. I felt just a little clunkier with the M4 builds, a little too slow compared to the Grow. The FR, I never enjoyed it. It was pretty bad. I wasn't the biggest fan of burst weapons, which I believe the FR is. The AK-47 was the first loadout that I made in this game, so it's going in quality. It's dropped off for me since. I think the Black Ops AK is actually pretty good. I enjoy picking that one up, but the AK from Modern Warfare wasn't the best for me. The Scar, pretty bad. I normally ignore it if it's ground loot, and I mean, I wouldn't rather have fists, but I'm not going to drop something else for it. The FAL, actually this is going to go up to good but boring. I never enjoyed using it. I didn't have quick enough of a trigger finger to use the FAL, but other people were very good with it, so I'll put it in good but boring. The Pharah is quality. Pharah is pretty good, one of the Black Ops ground loot, and that was one that I was always happy to pick up. It always felt like it did good damage for being a gray or a green weapon. The LC-10 is going to get quality. If I played multiplayer more, it definitely would have landed in one of my loadouts at one point, but never leveled it up enough to warrant picking it up in a loadout. The ISO, it just feels like a pea shooter. I don't like it. M91. The LMGs are pretty consistent, I'd say. most of them, like, you don't get really an awful LMG most of the time. I also just throw a lot of the LMGs in as, like, the same thing. But that one's quality. The Fennec. Another one that was good in multiplayer, but pretty bad in Warzone. Just the clip rate on it wasn't quite long enough to warrant it being used in Warzone scenarios, at least for me. The Striker 45. I don't think I've really gotten any kills with the Striker 45. Granted, not in my loadout again. But I'm not excited when I see that one on the ground. The P90, definitely used it a lot more in the past. And it was good when it was ground loot. That was a good pickup, but now don't see it much anymore. It's not in my loadout, so it stays in quality. Alright, we have the AUG. This one's going in good but boring. I've gotten many kills with like a ground loot AUG. This doesn't feel satisfying though. It just feels kind of like a cheap kill, in my opinion, but it's a very good gun. The Bison PP19. I'll put it in quality. Sometimes it feels good, sometimes it feels pretty bad, but I do like the length of the mag that you get when you pick it up off the ground. So that's always helpful. MP7 quality. The early like Easter egg where we had to go get the MP7 was so cool. And I ran around with that MP7 build for a couple of weeks after that in loadouts. MP5. That's probably my favorite SMG. After I got over my MP7 craze, MP5 is in my loadout fairly consistently. Or an option in my loadouts, I should say. Obviously, I can't have 3 guns. The Uzi is kind of bad. It's not my favorite SMG to see laying on the ground. But it does alright. The combat knife, I mean, I guess I wouldn't rather have fists, but Warzone is such a big map that I don't really want that. Riot Shield, I'm putting it in rather have fist just out of principle. I pick it up every once in a while, but that's if I don't already have a secondary. And I just leave it on my back. I don't know. I don't even know if it protects me from the back, but I pretend it does. The PKM, I feel like this one's one of the worst LMGs. So that one just goes in bad. Doesn't feel like it does quite enough damage, but I don't know. I haven't used it that much either. Cali sticks, they're kind of funny. They can go in bad. I mean, I'm not going to use them. I've seen some challenges where people try and win with just Cali sticks and a riot shield, and those are good videos, but I'm definitely not quality enough to be able to pull that off. RPG, that's going to be one of my favorites. For a very long time, it was sat right in my loadouts as my secondary for my ghost classes. The Pila, I'd rather have my fists out, honestly. I've never managed to figure out how it works. Let's just put it that way. The Joker, that one's going in bad, and I know that's going to make some people upset, especially people I play with. I just let other people use it because I know I can't. And I know I'm cutting off the favorites part, but I need to get to the other guns. So I'll show you at the end. The Strela, again, I don't think I ever have accomplished anything with the Strela, so it will go in rather have fists out because I just wouldn't pick it up. X16. I mean, it's not good, but it gets the job done. Pistols, for the most part, in the 1911, it gets the job done. If you're early doors, picking up a pistol isn't bad. But if you're coming to the end circle with the pistol, probably not the best. 357, also same thing. You know what? I'll give this one quality because it does actually ping for damage. M19 will go in bad. I don't like that one either. MG34 is not an LMG that I enjoy. In my group, that I play with, I am definitely not the LMG person, so I've probably ranked the LMGs a little lower than where they actually should belong, but I tend to give them off to other people. The R90s, favorite. I have a pink camo on the R90s, dual wield. It's amazing. AX50 is quality. It's not my sniper of choice, but I have certainly watched people donk heads off with the AX50. The Dragunov, I'd rather have my fists out. Kind of a useless sniper. I don't think it even does enough damage to really do anything in Warzone. The HDR, again, quality. I feel like the HDR and the AX50 are both very similar snipers. I'm happy when I pick either of them up. I'd say I prefer the AX50, but not by much. I've used both from friends' loadouts, and they're both quality. The Rytech, it's bad. I've seen other people use it well. I have not seen myself use it well, so it will land in bad. The EBR-14, I would most certainly rather have my fists out. It's an awful weapon. It doesn't do anything. Kar98, that one's going in my favorites. That is the sniper of choice in my loadouts and will forever be one of my favorite guns in this game. I often pick this if I don't have, even if I don't have a good other weapon. I'll get Ghost with a Kar98 and dual R90s, and that's what I run with. The Mk2 Carbine, again, would rather have my fists out. I feel like every time I pick it up, I regret it, because I just die. The crossbow. I feel like I'm going to put it in quality. I don't know if I've used it, but it looks fun, and if you can aim it, it's pretty good. So I'll stick it in quality. The SKS is pretty bad. It's kind of a bad version of the FAL for me. And if I don't like this one, I'm not going to like the worst version of it. So it gets to land there. The SA87. You know what? This one was quality. I was happy to pick this one up. For an LMG, you had good mobility. And it still had a good mag. Like, you had a good amount of bullets for the mobility that you get. SPR-208. I don't think I've ever used this, so I'll put it in bad because I can't really make an opinion on it. The Sigma 2. I don't like this one. It's just going to go in bad. I rarely use it. But yeah. RPG. I mean, I think this is just the other RPG, so they're both going to go up there. The knife. Again, it's bad. I mean, no, I wouldn't rather have my fists out because it does more damage, but I'm not the kind of person to go running around and try and stab people because I'm not good enough at the game to do that. Alright. The Sledgehammer. This just looks sick. It's gonna still go in bad, but it looks really cool. Wakizashi. Again, I mean, the melee weapons are just gonna go in bad. Like, I wouldn't rather have my fists out, but they're not good. M79. Never really liked that one either. The look of it isn't appealing anyway, so don't feel bad about that. But the Hauer 77. That's a quality shotgun. It does decent damage, and you get enough bullets where you can actually down them in the clip, and that's amazing. The Gallow, that one's bad. It's better in multiplayer, but it's not the best in Warzone. The Street Sweeper, that was a quality one. That airs on good but boring, except for the fact that it is kind of fun to just run around with a Street Sweeper and sweep people off their feet. The Holger 26, that one wasn't good. It's very close to rather have fists out, honestly. There was a point where I just wouldn't pick it up, but it does the job. The 1911, again, it's going to go in bad. Magnum, I'll stick it back here again. The Amati, Diamati's a fun one, actually. That one goes in quality. That's one of my favorite pistols. It actually does something. So, Stoner 63, that one's quality. I'm not disappointed when I pick it up. Same with the RPD and the M60. Honestly, this is where my LMGs are. I think I must like the Black Ops LMGs better. M82, I did not like this one. That one's actually, this is most definitely I'd rather have fists out, because if it's a bad sniper, I'm just not picking it up. The Tundra as well, I think it has 3 bullets. Useless. The Pellington is quality. I liked it a lot when it first came out, and then I've fallen off from it, but it was good, and I think it is still kind of good. The DMR, everyone should know where that's going. This is going into good but boring. It's another one of those ones. It's like the AUG, where I can get kills with it, but I don't feel good about it. The Bruin was quality. That one had that one went through a phase where it was probably one of the better guns in the game for about a month, but it's fallen off a little bit since, but it's still a quality weapon. I never leveled it up enough to put it in my loadouts, so I don't use it anymore, but I was definitely happy when Warzone Guns were ground loot to pick it up. The AUG, the other AUG, it's going in good but boring with the other one. I wish it didn't repeat on this list. Like, just give me one of them. The M16 was quality, or is quality. Not disappointed when I pick it up, even though I believe that was one of the burst ones. And I'm not normally a fan of burst weapons, but that one's pretty good. The Type 63, again, I'm not disappointed to pick it up. It's not going to make its way into a loadout of mine, but I'm not sad when I see it on the ground. The Black Ops Mp5. Now, this one is worse than the Modern Warfare Mp5, so that one sticks there in quality. It's still good, but it's just not as good. The Milano, I don't like that one. It's pretty bad. It's a very close one to would rather have fists out, but it can be useful early game, so that's really the only reason why it doesn't fall that low. The AK-74U is quality. It does its job. I think other people might put that higher, but I've never used it enough to get it higher than that. The KSP-45 is pretty bad. I picked it up a couple times and it was never really useful. The Bullfrog, will stick it in quality. It's very similar to where is it? There are a lot of weapons on this thing. The Bison right there. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, so gets the same rank. The Mk2, that's quality. Frustratingly killed by that many times, but it's a quality weapon. The Groza, never liked the Groza. Every time I pick it up, I mistake it for something else, and then I go to shoot it, and I'm heavily disappointed. The Finn is bad. I don't pick that up anymore, unless it's like the first gun I see, so I wouldn't rather have fists. But the Fharah is quality. I haven't used it enough for it to be in one of my favorites, but if I played the game more, the Fharah would probably be up there. The Krig 6 is quality. I enjoy picking that up. It's a very consistent weapon. I know what I'm going to get out of the Krig 6. The AK-47, like I said earlier, I think I like the Black Ops one better than the Modern Warfare one, but it not enough to bring it above quality. The XM4 is also good. I think Black Ops came out with a lot of good ARs, and the XM4 and Fharah are not necessarily longer range ARs. They came out with good close range ARs, which these two both fit. The QBZ-83 I did not like whatsoever. The Pharah, it's going in quality again with the other one, and so is the LC-10. I didn't realize there were 2 copies of those. I thought they were just Black Ops weapons. I don't know why that's in there twice, but okay. The Model 680 I didn't like. And the Val, I don't think I've used. No, I've used it, but I don't pick it up. So I'll show the list, the tier that I came up with for my weapons. These are the quality and bad ones. Good but boring is the 4 that I think, well, the 3, because the AUG's in there twice, but the 3 that I think everybody would agree with. And my favorites, we'll go through this one: Growl, Kilo, MP5, RPG, R90, and Car98, with Car98 definitely being at the top of this, by the way. So we'll move him up there. Let me know where you agree and where you disagree with this list down below. And if you have any other recommendations for tier lists that I should do in the future, please let me know as well. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day.